tell me about your quarantine. How's it going? What have you been doing? Have you developed any new skills outside of softball?
It's been a roller coaster of emotions, I can tell you that. So I think we're like 8 weeks in now. Yeah, so about 8 weeks, 7, 8 weeks. The first few weeks I was like thriving because I'm very independent, very like I can stick to myself and I'll be fine. At least what I thought I was. But I've actually moved 3 times since the start of quarantine because I don't have an apartment here or like a place to stay because I stopped renting, assuming that I wouldn't be here till
Right. You thought you were going to be in
September,
LA.
right?
Yeah.
So I don't have a place to live here. So I originally was like on my sister's couch surfing because I was supposed to be in Fresno like on the 13th of March or 20th of March, sorry. So that was my plan, to be with my sister, hang out for a little bit and go to California. That didn't happen. And so I had to figure out like, okay, I don't want to sleep on the couch for who knows how long. Um, so I actually ended up in a teammate's aunt's house, who I'm really close with her family anyway, so it wasn't weird, but they were actually in between houses, so that this was like their old house. And so I stayed there till they closed it, and then was on the island, Vancouver Island, staying with my uncle in his basement suite. And now I'm here in Kelowna, which is where my mom lives. But I couldn't get to Kelowna because you have to have snow tires on your car because it's up in the mountains
Mm.
until I think May 1st was like the first day you could drive the Coquihalla Highway, which is like really, really scary to drive in the winter. So initially I was like, oh, I'll go to my mom's, but then I couldn't drive. So that was like where the couch surfing came into play. And then, yeah, so that was a roller coaster in itself. But then just emotionally, like finding out that this is all happening, college softball getting canceled, it was like kind of creeping in, like, what's going to happen to us? Like, how is this going to affect our team? You know, it's kind of wild to think about, like the Olympics getting canceled. But so the day before we found out that Team Canada was like pulling out of the Olympics, I was like, something's going to happen this week. I feel it, like, because it was like, I think 2 days after the college, like all of college sports got canceled. So I think when Canada first made the announcement, which we found out like 5 minutes before that the huge announcement went off, um, I can't label what I was feeling. It it was relief almost, because you don't want to be sent into like somewhere dangerous throughout all this, but then also it's like, well, if the Olympics is still on, this was your chance to go and you're not allowed going anymore. Like, sorry, like to see other countries go and compete would have been devastating. But I think Canada was, the trailblazer in that movement of, we're a big country and we have a lot of teams going and a lot of players going, athletes. So I think when Canada took the stand, that's kind of when the snowball started of, I think Australia 20 minutes later was like, we're not going. So I'm super proud to be from a country who makes big decisions like that, but I think it was scary and so unknown. And then, yeah, so after that, Coach Smith, our coach, was like, okay, take these like 2 weeks to just be a like human being for the first time in your life. Don't worry about softball. Don't do anything softball. And I was like, okay, like sounds good to me. Like I was 100% okay with that because training gets very overwhelming, whether people can admit it or not. Like it is a huge thing that you have going on in your life, but at this point, like it's a lifestyle and that's your choice. At the end of the day, like you're here because you want to be and you choose to be. You don't have to be here. um but it gets overwhelming. So I was not excited to be done with it, but I was okay with the fact that we didn't have softball. And then when I moved to the island, which was about a month ago, that's kind of when I like felt the decline and the like identity crisis. Like I play softball, but now I don't play softball. Like who am I? Like all that cliche
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I was alone this whole time. Like a lot of people are living with their significant others or their sisters or brothers or family, and I've been alone this whole time. So I think that was starting to catch up with me too. So I really made, like, I was staying up super late, waking up really late. Like, I didn't really have any structure of my day. And I think that's kind of a lesson I've learned is I, like it or not, I said I'm adaptable and I am extremely adaptable, but I think I needed that routine and a structure to my day. Like, I need to be able to have, like, wake up at a certain time so I can be productive. So for me, it was waking up at whatever 9, let's say. I love sleeping in, so I just, 9 probably sounds really late to some people, but for me it's like that's early. So waking up at 9, making coffee, listening to podcasts. Can talks are every day at 11, so it's just making sure that I do something, and then from then just that, especially listening to Olympians talk, I mean, you can't be nothing but inspired after it. So I think it's a good way to start my morning, and it's made me super motivated. And now I'm here, I'm able to be outside. It's beautiful here. Our training program started again about a month ago. So it's roller coaster. It is a roller coaster, but you know, everyone's going through it. I Everyone's going through the same thing. It's all unprecedented. No one's ever done it before. So the way I'm feeling and the way I'm navigating it is completely fair. And, you know, I need to trust my ability and my training and my timeline. So I think what the way I'm going through it is going to be different than some of my teammates, but again, that's completely okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we all experience these things differently, and it's okay. Embrace it. I haven't learned anything new. I want to learn. I actually, a few months or weeks ago, I asked, like, what should I do during quarantine? Because I was trying to just connect with somebody because I was alone. And I had like 10 people say I need to learn a new language. So I want to learn Dutch. I think I'm going to try doing that because my last name is very Dutch. My family's very Dutch. Like, a lot of my aunts and uncles can speak it. So I'm like, okay, let's try. So I
Mm-hmm.
think there are some programs where you can do it for free right now. So I'm gonna look into that too.
Very cool. Have you been to the Netherlands?
Yes. So in 2014 we played Worlds there. And I think, what city was it?
In Chile?
No, Harlem, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we played Worlds there and it was so cool. We actually so again, lots of my family's there, and I had a crowd of like 20-30 people all there
Wow.
to see me who I had never met before, but they're like, go Sarah. Like, I found a picture the other day because there's a bunch of photo albums here, but it was the picture of that, and it was really cool. And like, looking back now, that's something that I wish I could re-experience, because at the time I'm like, I think I was a sophomore in college at that time, so I was super young, naive. Like, I didn't know what any of that meant. I was just like, oh, people are here to watch. But like,
Mm-hmm.
looking back, like, that's my family. Like, they came from hours away to see me, and they don't even know me. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's
So
very cool.
yeah, I
Did
wish I
you
could
go to
relive that.
Amsterdam?
We got to go downtown like once, very briefly. We're
Oh,
very like business. Like, we
you
don't
got to
really
go
have a lot
back
of time. I know. I
when
put a
it
lot
when
of,
it's like safe, you know.
yeah.
It's such a cool city.
Have you been? Obviously, you've obviously
Mhm.
been.
Yeah,
What's your
I've been.
favorite part?
Um, I really love walking around cities, like just like put the headphones on and it's like I'm
Mhm.
in my own movie, you know, walking through the
Mhm.
city. And the city is
Good
just so,
soundtrack.
yeah, exactly. The
Yeah.
city is so like picturesque. There's canals and then cobblestone roads, and they've got great art museums. Like, people
Mhm.
are super chill there, and it's diverse. um I really like it. I like that they have like old bookstores because I like wandering
Yeah.
through those.
Mhm.
um but it's just like a really, really beautiful city. It's one of my
Mhm.
favorites that I've been
It's
to over
definitely on
there.
my list.
Yeah, I would go back many times. Like, if I like, it would be a dream just to have like a summer place there just to hang out for like a few months. And then everybody rides
Totally.
bikes there.
Yep.
I think when I first went there, I was really expecting the city to be kind of like seedy and well, because you hear all the stories, right?
Yeah,
Because you got the red light
totally.
district,
There's
and
like the sketchy parts of it, but I mean, every city has that, right? So,
yeah, but it's like so clean,
hmm
like so clean. I
and people are just so friendly there, and
so
they're
friendly.
very well rehearsed in English, so it's not hard to navigate.
Hmm.
People are willing to help you. They like kind of know what you're saying, they think, and
Hmm.
it's just, yeah, it's fun. It's easy to get around for sure.
Yeah, yeah, great city, great
Did you go
city.
in the summer or the winter?
Summer,
Yeah.
both times. Yeah. And then I went to some like a smaller town outside of Amsterdam that was really pretty. I mean, it's got like those idyllic like windmills and like the
Probably
flowers.
the tulips, yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Big
so
iconic things in
Mhm.
Dutch history, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Dutch is a tough one.
And
Um,
it's like gnarly.
yeah. Um, if you haven't done Audible yet, if they have some really good language books. I've
No, I
downloaded a
haven't tried
few.
it.
Hmm.
I'll have to give it a go.
Yeah, I'm not really good with keeping up with them. My Spanish has actually gotten okay, but I have German on there and I think French. I haven't even touched the French
Dang, good
one.
for you.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, don't not speaking it on
She
a
has
daily
all these
basis.
books, but
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's just so I can brag about it that I have them, but I don't speak them. Just kidding.